The City of Waterloo, in cooperation with its many active and inspiring entities, presents Hart for the City, a chance to hear and see what's going on in our city and to meet people who serve you, teach you, entertain you, help you, all neighbors and like you. Make this a city on the move. And now, here's our host, the Honorable Quentin Hart.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us on Hart for the City. I'm Quentin Hart, proud mayor of Waterloo. And when I pause to think about this amazing city with so many worthwhile events, places, people, and things all around us, well, kind of leaves me breathless. But think about it, our city, Waterloo, has nearby access to one of the Regent universities with its education, cultural and sports. We have a highly recognized community college, nationally recognized historic downtown districts, an outstanding community theater for adults and children alike. There are innovative public and private schools with exciting programs. And our city has a modern communication system. And Waterloo is within an easy drive of all the major Midwest cities. And we have a regional airport with private charter services and daily direct commercial flights to and from Chicago O'Hare with connections to anywhere in the world. And speaking of the airport, the mission of the Waterloo Regional Airport is, and I quote, to use the resources of ALO to the maximum benefit of the region. And as our airport director always says, you're always first class with the Waterloo Regional Airport. So stay tuned as we reveal more of what our airport, ALO, offers.
Traveling to Waterloo is easy. Waterloo Regional Airport, served by American Airlines, offers daily service to Chicago O'Hare with connections to over 700 destinations worldwide. At Waterloo Regional Airport, you'll find friendly ticket agents and helpful personnel so you can fly through security. And with close-in vehicle parking at only $5 per day, Waterloo should be your airport of choice. Waterloo Regional Airport and American Airlines, your partners in air service from the Cedar Valley.
There's a job in this city where the director must know how to manage personnel and operational activities, know acronyms such as FCC and FAA, rules and regulations, review and revise safety and security plans, constantly be mindful of the need to upgrade infrastructure, manage fueling, heating, and cleaning, handle customer complaints, work with vendor contracts and leases, including farm leases as well. Who oversees such an all-encompassing project? I am pleased to introduce Keith Kaspari, Director of Aviation at our own Waterloo Municipal Airport. So welcome, Keith, and how are you?
I'm fine. Good afternoon, Mayor Hart. Thanks for being with you and your viewers.
Right, thank you. So, Keith, aviation, I know when I was a kid, I wanted to be an airplane pilot, but tell me about how you got involved in this.
Well, shortly after high school, I joined the Navy, and I was on board the USS Denver. It's an amphibious transport dock ship and home ported in San Diego. They had flight activities with 2 helicopter landing spots, and so I think that kind of jump-started my interest in a potential career path in aviation.
So you went to the Navy to get into aviation.
I did.
Okay. All right, and you're from the Minnesota native as well?
I am from a little town in northwestern Minnesota called Thief River Falls.
Okay, so this is a broadcast we'll see in Waterloo, so you want to tell them, are you an Iowa fan or a bit
Go Panthers.
All right, I won't put you on the spot, but when we take a look at the airport, and I just had a meeting with some business folks, and they complimented the progress that we're making. So can you tell us a little bit about our airport and where we're at?
Well, certainly from when, over 5 years, when American Airlines started service in April of 2012, Waterloo's boardings and passengers have grown by 40%. Or if you do the math, it's about a solid 8% year-by-year average increase. So that's very, very good. we think Waterloo Regional Airport is poised for continued good things, but we would like to have or see more passengers utilize the airport so that we can justify increases in service over the coming years.
Right, and you know, we visited some airlines before, so what does it take to attract another carrier here as well, or additional flights also?
Well, certainly with about a 76% load factor, that's good, but it's certainly not good enough in today's airline environment to justify a third departure. Honestly, Mayor, what I'd like to see is approximately 45 passengers each flight, each day, each way for the outbound and return. That would, and then sustain that level of service. That would then allow us to justify to airline officials that Waterloo is a real good market to expand frequency.
Right, so when you say 76% passenger load, you're talking about per flight, how much that needs to be filled up. So if I think we currently work with American Airlines, so if we have, just say if we have a 100-seat plane, they want to see more than 76, or we want to see more than 76, but the more that's filled up, the more that tells that airline that we're ready and poised and we can handle another flight. Is that correct?
That is correct. That's spot on. We think that if we can continue to attract more users to our facility, such as what we've seen in a recent parking survey, we've got users throughout 34 of Iowa's counties and about 18 U.S. states. And so that's a good sign that we're seeing users from all over eastern and the east half of Iowa.
And what's interesting too, and when I have conversations with people about this, in some instances there's a little bit of a surprise. And that is when you take a look at our rates, you know, people used to say, oh, you're so much higher than all these other places. I'm not, but can you tell us a little bit about the changes since you've been here that we've made with regards to the rates that we have to pay for flights?
Well, certainly if I hear about fares that are way out of balance in contrast with other regional airports in Iowa, I have the ability to contact American officials and see if they can kind of right-size our fare to make it much more cost competitive. To give you one example, just because we've only got a couple flights a day, I just today got notified that a friend of ours is traveling from Washington, D.C., from Waterloo, and the fare was $800. It was a short notice reservation, but other competing airports showed that the same fare was $1,100. So we're thinking that, again, we're on the right track to continue to grow our passenger base using the airport.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. I've had friends that we've had this same conversation. They took a look to compare flights, and they're flying out of Waterloo now, which is what we need to do. We need to support our local regional airport if we want increased flights going out at different times as well. But you've been doing an outstanding job making sure that people know about the regional airport, that they know about, you know, if you're looking for a spring break trip, you know, this is a place to take a look at. I know you've been doing some aggressive marketing with some of our radio stations, television stations, magazines. You've been everywhere.
Well, thank you. We've been able to really grow our marketing outreach, and so we've got great partners with regard to KWWL News, the Courier, major radio stations in this community, Koloff Media, NRG Media, KOEL, AM Radio. We've got KBOL, and then of course we're also on the campus of the University of Northern Iowa and the Alumni Association. So we're starting slowly some right steps, and we want to continue to grow that.
And you've been reaching out to service clubs, school, you know, every place that you can possibly take information about the airport to. You're doing that and doing an excellent job. But in the beginning, when we talked a little bit about all of the responsibilities you have, one of them is overseeing projects that take place at the airport, from runways to I don't know, vending machines, everything in the interim. Can you tell us about some of the projects happening now?
We're very fortunate in that we're going to undertake a very aggressive project this coming summer to rehabilitate our taxiway Charlie, our primary runway, and repaint the entire airfield. That total cost is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of about $2.7 million. Wow. So I think that's good for the community because we anticipate a lot of subcontractors that are going to be part of that job located right here in the Waterloo Cedar Falls area. And so we're excited that they're going to be able to partner with us to get this project completed.
And just a couple of quick things. We've had some changes to the way we provide security. Can you tell us about the check now that we have? I think it's, you got to do this.
Exactly. That's
Not
called,
raise the roof.
That's a good point. We've got some of the best screening technology that is available at airports today throughout the U.S. In February, the Transportation Security Administration and the Des Moines office of TSA installed at Waterloo what's called an Advanced Imaging Technology, or AIT2 system. And this is a very sensitive piece of equipment and will be able to scan everything that is on your person so that you are not a threat to board that aircraft. And I think that just continues to go to show that Waterloo is getting increases in levels of technology for the betterment of our passengers as they board the aircraft.
Right. And that's overall just been, you know, great. And I think we're one of few smaller communities in the state or to have that security system.
That is correct. Not every airport in the state has that level of equipment technology.
Okay. Okay, good. Well, you know, that's where'd the time go? Well, we'll have to have you come back. But what I will do is say that people need to understand that if Waterloo has a great facility right here for us to be able to utilize, tap into excellent customer service. I think one of the people that work directly at the airport had received an award for hospitality and service and commitment, and that's reflected from where you're at to everyone that works there. So people need to understand, you know, you don't have to drive, 2 hours and spend, exorbitant amount of money in parking. You can fly out of Waterloo. So I'll say it for you. But thank you, Keith. We have to move quickly. But thank you, Keith, so much for spending this time with us. And as you like to remind people, please fly local, and every seat is
first class.
All right, and it does make a difference. So. All right. Waterloo is one of the few cities in Iowa to boast a state-sanctioned off-highway vehicle park in an urban setting, and it is a jewel among all the Iowa all-terrain vehicle parks. How was an old landfill and mining site with a very bad reputation turned into a hub of family-oriented, motorized recreation? Stay with us, and we will have answers after this.
I love coming here. There's so much we can do. So many opportunities for the whole family. I can try new things, and I don't have to worry about additional fees. I've got time for me when there's so much for them. Cedar Valley Sportsplex, where active lifestyles take shape.
We owe so much to Leisure Services, a department that dedicates itself to providing all citizens the means that encourage lifelong learning, fitness, and fun. There are so many activities the department performs and so many venues available for citizens of all ages. One of these is motorized recreation and sport. To tell us about this, the Director of Leisure Services, Paul Huddy. So, Paul, welcome.
Well, thank you, Mayor.
How are you today?
Doing great.
It's almost that time of the year.
It is. It's time to get outside and enjoy the summer weather and have some fun.
Absolutely. And Paul, just really quickly, can you tell us a couple of the areas you oversee before we go directly into the meat of this conversation?
Well, sure. We're a Parks and Recreation agency, and within our department, we have our newest addition is the Cedar Valley Sportsplex, but we have Young Arena, we have 52 parks, we have several recreation areas now. We're going to talk about one of those, and the bike trails and just a whole host of outdoor opportunities, swimming pools.
So, when it comes to having fun, enjoying the outdoors and the indoors, recreational activities for young people as well through the Leisure Services sports programs, renowned tennis courts, so many great things happening within your department. But I want to read this, and it says about 20 years ago, Waterloo became the nation's second metropolitan area to have an all-terrain vehicle park within city limits. How did this come into being, and how large is this area?
Well, it's 400 acres.
Oh, wow.
Half of the 400 acres is the motorized recreation area.
Okay.
The other half is multi-use recreation, outdoor recreation. But Harold Getty's name is on the lake. There's a lake within this area, and about 20 years ago, Harold Getty led the charge to take an area that was kind of an old landfill and dump site and mining area that had a bad reputation with some criminal activity and other problems there, a lot of litter and trash and so forth, and making it into a nice multi-use park.
Right.
So that's how it all started with Harold Getty, and that's why you as council at the time voted to put his name on the lake.
Absolutely.
But as far as the motorized portion of it, that's all started with the Trailblazers OHV Club, and the Trailblazers is a nonprofit private group who leases the park.
And what did it used to be? Was it Mitchell?
It was known as Mitchell Sand Pits because it's on the end of Mitchell Avenue.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You've taken something that used to have quite a reputation and made it something great for people as well. So Harold Getty was a trailblazer. Was there anybody else involved?
Harold Getty was kind of a city leader who was promoting it. The Trailblazers are a group of ATV and motorcycle riders who got together and organized because they wanted to have an area to ride.
And so four-wheelers?
Yes, four-wheelers. Just recently, council voted to include quads, and what a quad is it's a four-wheeler with side-by-side seats. It's a little bit larger vehicle.
Okay.
And motorcycles.
And so the amenities there, is there any water? Is there fishing? What are all of the amenities that are?
Well, we have the trail, and the trail system maintained by the Trailblazers. There are trails for kids and trails for general use. Beautiful trails along the river for the quads. And the rest of the park, the other 200 acres, we have a new trail around the lake, goes around the perimeter of the lake. We have a boat ramp, restroom facility, picnic shelters. It's just a nice outdoor picnic and recreation area.
All right. So were you worried about vehicles that may cause damage to all of the stuff that you had going on there around the lake, or?
We placed some bollards to control the traffic, but the fact that we offer motorized recreation in the other half of the park, I think, is very helpful.
Right.
And we really don't have too much trouble with damage anymore.
And so for maintenance and repair, those are part of the responsibilities. You said you added some bollards?
Yeah, just traffic control.
Okay, okay. So is there a cost to doing all of this? Is it?
We've invested about $1 million over the last 20 years. I'm happy to report most of that. It's not city money. The vast majority of it came from the Iowa DNR, from recreation vehicle registration funds, and from REAP grants, and some federal recreation trails funds, and some private funds too.
You said a trailblazer? What's a trailblazer is who?
Well, the Trailblazers is the name of the club, and they're the group who organized, and we have a lease with them, and they actually lease, and they do all the maintenance in the motorized area.
So someone else does the maintenance for that, so that's literally no cost maybe to us.
It's a great deal for the city because we offer nice alternative form of recreation at no operating cost to the city.
And is this area open to fishermen or to trappers or to bicyclists?
Fishing is a really important activity, and yes, we have 2 fishing jetties out there, and we have a boat ramp. So yeah, the fishing is really quite good. There's bass, northern, bluegills, sunfish, just a nice variety of fish. Hunting and trapping is not allowed except by special permit for the urban deer hunt. That occasionally is done in the area.
And bicycling is?
Bicycling is encouraged as well, and hiking.
Okay. So is there anything else that you want us to know about this particular area, about what you do?
Well, Riverview Recreation Area is just, I think it's a great example of bringing an alternative form of recreation into an urban area, and we're proud to have been one of the leaders in that.
All right. Well, we thank you, Paul, for all you and those who serve the community and leisure services do for us. We owe much for the dedication that is expended to bring joy, health, and entertainment for us year-round. And I hope you will be willing to take a break from your busy schedule to come back as a regular guest. You didn't say yes.
Yes, thank you.
All right. All right. Waterloo has many crowd-drawing events such as Black Hawk Hockey's My Waterloo Days, Friday Lou, the Irish Fest, the Fiesta, the National Dairy Cattle Congress, the 5 Sullivan Brothers Center, Sportsplex, just to name a few. These events are totally homegrown and locally sponsored, but one of the biggest events that never fails to attract huge crowds is the annual 4th Street Cruise. And this year, it is cruise number 36. Now, you know it's something when you can take a look back, and I can, to cars when I was growing up that are part of the cruise now. But, you know, what makes this a special event? We will have some insight on that after this.
There's a place that lies directly between where you've been and where you're going. It's the place in the middle, the place where your past and future connect. Hawkeye Community College is that place, connecting you to great faculty, engaged students, and four-year destinations like the University of Northern Iowa. Every masterpiece starts with a blank canvas, and every success story begins with an empty page. Start writing your story today. Hawkeye Community College. Connect.
If you like the rumble of fine-tuned engines, classic colors, and styles of a past era, and to be amidst a sea of people who love the nostalgia of vintage vehicles, then you will want to go to downtown Waterloo to either proudly show off your wheels or to observe the continuous parade of those that do. And to tell us how this all got started is Pat Derifield, founder of the Waterloo 4th Street Cruise. So welcome, Pat. So tell us, I mean, how did you develop such a passion for vintage cars? Even let's go before that. You know, what made you think of the 4th Street Cruise? How did you come up with that?
Years ago, I used to cruise 4th Street along with a number of people, hundreds of people really, hundreds of kids. And after getting married, raising kids, going to work, the cruising kind of stopped. And my daughter, Patty, grew up, and they were cruising University. And I picked her up one night at work. She was working at McDonald's to bring her home, and I started talking to her about cruising University and how at 45 miles an hour you can't talk to anybody. Very seldom do you get to stop and get out of your car and dance. And I said, would you like to see where I cruised as a kid, your mother and I? She said she would. So we came down to 4th Street, and we're moving slowly down 4th Street, and I'm telling her about the kids, the cars, everything we did. And she said, wouldn't you like to do that again, Dad?
Oh, wow.
And boy, it rang a bell. And I said, if I would, so would the hundreds of people that did. So it just grew from there.
Right, right. And this passion for vintage cars, where did that come from?
The cars itself. I mean, when you see a 34 Ford with a 350 Chevrolet engine in it and it rumbles down the street, there's no question about a V8 engine when you hear it. You know what it is. And through the 70s and the 80s, the cars were quite a bit anemic.
Right.
You know, they were very quiet. And I grew up liking V8 engines. I grew up liking the sound of V8 engines. I grew up liking fast cars.
But you would never drive too fast. We know that. You would never drive too fast.
I can't say that.
But that's why they call it a cruise, all right?
That's why they call it a
Take
cruise.
your time, showcase
Yes.
your vehicle. And I guess for a lot of people, you see a particular vehicle and in your mind it brings back memories from growing up and seeing those.
Oh, goodness, yes. I built 2 cars. I built a 47 Chevrolet Business Coupe with
wow.
a Corvette engine and Corvette transmission from the frame up. And I also built a 64 GTO from the frame up. Ended up selling both of them when I retired.
Right. Yeah, I remember my dad had a Chevy. It was a gray one, but then he ended up getting a powdered blue Cadillac. So every time you hit the blinker, it used to be on the top of the hood. You could see which way you're turning. So,
Right.
I mean, you're starting to make me bring up. You don't want to hear about my memories. You want to hear about the 36 years of the cruise. Has anything changed in that time with the cruise?
The people downtown have changed. Right now, we have a young man on the cruise committee who is the son of one of the first people that was on the cruise committee.
Right. Wow.
So it's a family event.
Right.
Yeah.
And I see it says vehicles, a 1940 Packard and a 1937 Ford pickup. Tell us about those and why they were chosen.
The 1940 Packard is a Maryland car, and he drove it from Maryland to Waterloo, Iowa last year to be in the cruise.
Wow.
And it's an absolutely gorgeous car, absolutely beautiful. The 37 Ford pickup is flawless. It's a local car, and it is flawless. And they got chosen as the cars on the shirt for this year.
I want to ask them. I bet they said no children in this car. They didn't have my kids in there.
The 1940 Packard, they're an older couple.
Right. Okay.
And I think the 37 Ford, he has kids. So I
Right.
suppose they rode in there.
So, who are some of the people that sponsor with you to make this a reality? KOKZ radio station has been our sponsor for ever since the cruise has been organized. Wow.
And at one time they were KCNB, now they're KOKZ. And we have sponsors that come and go, different cruises.
Right.
Yeah.
And how many cars are we talking about? 5, 10, or how many are?
At the show and shine, last year we quit counting at 1,000.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
And downtown you will get anywhere from 900 to 1,200 cars cruising.
Oh wow, that's an incredible number. So you have thousands that participate, and just to think over the course of the 36 years, just say for instance that number was every year. You're talking about 36,000 people have participated in the 4th Street Cruise.
Yes.
And I think you have a little something right there.
I would like to present you with this book. I wrote this book, The History of the 4th Street Cruise.
Oh my gosh, Mr.
And
Derifield, thank you
it pretty
so
well
much.
spells out everything that went on from day one
Oh my gosh, look at this.
of the organized 4th Street Cruise.
Oh, this is absolutely incredible. Yeah, and I think the cars are beautiful, but the time frame in which we can remember that means so much. So it's not just a car show; it's a connection to your community. It's a connection of growing up. It's a connection of remembering where a father or mother was driving as well. So to me, this is more than just a cruise. This is a cruise through history. It's a cruise through our lives as well.
Yeah.
Can you tell us the dates and time?
The show and shine is May 26th at the Cattle Congress grounds, and that's where you can get right up close to the cars. You can see the engines. You can talk to the people that own them. The cruise is May 27th from 12 to 4 downtown Waterloo on 4th Street. Every once in a while we get a call that says, "Where's the 4th Street cruise held?" And well, yeah, it's on 4th Street. So
Okay.
But yeah, that's when it is, and the weather plays a big factor. I mean, it does. If it's raining, you don't get as many cars, you don't get as many people. You give me a 75-degree day with
almost
sunshine,
perfect.
and it's overrun.
All right, all right. Well, we know there's going to be good weather this year.
I know it.
And you know, I want to thank you for the educational piece that you do with the book as well, and for just helping people come together in such a positive event. So thank you very much, Mr. Derifield, and thank you for taking time out to talk about what is surely one of your great passions. And thanks for creating an event that keeps us young in heart and mind. And as always, we wish you great weather. In one of our past Heart for the City episodes, we interviewed Major David Richard, commander of the West High School Air Force Junior ROTC. Recently, they announced that they had once again earned the Distinguished Unit Award, this time with merit. This is a tremendous honor and marks the 4th year in a row the Distinguished Unit Award has been earned. The merit designation can only be awarded once every 3 years when a unit gets inspected and exceeds standards, which happened in October 2016. This award can only be accomplished through hard work and discipline. On behalf of the community, I extend a heartfelt congratulations to all cadets, past and present, who made this possible. We are so proud of all of you. We'll be right back after this message. Something to do for entertainment, shopping, eating, and more, go to travelwaterloo.com for complete listings of so many exciting activities, places, and venues. Well, that's our show, and we welcome your suggestions and feedback. Remember to tell others that these episodes are available for viewing from the new City of Waterloo website. That's cityofwaterlooiowa.com, and you will see the show's YouTube link prominently displayed on the home page. Please join us next time, and thanks for watching Heart for the City. And until then, I think you'll agree it's a great day to be in Waterloo.